Hi, Cik Tasha. How is it going in London?
Hi, everything is just fine here, and the weather is colder than I expected. So I really need to cope with it well.
Actually, I'm so sorry for interrupting your time in London, but we have an urgent case to settle up immediately. As I emailed you earlier, there was a call from a company secretary that wanted to get some legal advice. Not for her, but for her CEO, she said. And I assume that she got our number from the business card that you handed out to the company CEO.
Ah,
I also need to meet the client tomorrow at 9 a.m. Can we discuss this for a while?
sure. And I also have some free time right now, but only perhaps 30 to 55 minutes. Could you please keep it brief and sweet?
A sure thing. Firstly, we will discuss about the chronology of this case.
Oh, all right. Okay, so from what I had read from the information you sent me through email last night, this guy is the wife of Mr. Safian from Safian.co, right? The famous businessman.
Yeah, it is correct. So the defendant is Nur Safa Emily Natasha binti Jaafar, and she's the wife of the deceased, which is the CEO itself, Muhammad Atiq Safian bin Nur Limalis Jazari. So on the 4th June of 2022, the defendant has stabbed her husband twice. So, wait, let me show you the pictures of evidence. Can you see it?
Yeah,
So this is the crime scene, and this is the 7-inch knife, a kitchen knife that is used by her wife to stab the CEO. And this is him, the disease, the bloodstains, and also the medicines found on the crime scene.
I see. So, what is the cause of his death?
Um, I believe it is the blood loss caused him to suffer a cardiac arrest, leading to brain damage. And despite interventions by paramedics at the scene and doctors at hospital, he died at about 2:45 a.m. on 4th June.
I see. So, from the evidence you showed me now, the defendant also had suffered from schizophrenia, and it had been diagnosed from the last 6 months from the medical reports that you provide to me. And there's a lot of pills that had in that scene. So, among them is an antidepressant and antipsychotic. I believe these two types of medicine will give huge side effects of hallucination if a person overdose it, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think so. Maybe we can assume that she had overdose on the pills at the time she committed the crime, and she was maybe involuntarily intoxicated.
So I think for now we only can assume it, and we need to hear more from our client and try to find as many as possible defenses that can make the court lighten the sentences.
Okay, I will gather all the possible defenses and evidences from the client tomorrow.
Thank you, Janice. And once I'm done with London, I promise you I will be back and prepare all the course paper with you. Please keep me updated, yeah?
All right, noted. Everything will be updated to you through your email. Have a safe day in London. Bye. Hello, Pasafa. I'm Anis, your lawyer that's in charge of your case. Please sit down. I'm truly sorry for keeping you wait because there was a traffic jam on my way here. Also, there would be another lawyer that's in charge of this case, which is my partner, Cik Tasha, just so you know her name. She sends her regards to you as she couldn't attend to this meeting with you because she had an important meeting to attend. Are you okay with that?
Sure. So she's the one, the other lawyers that taking charge with you
Yeah,
for my
it's
case.
true. So good to see you. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for coming today, and I really need your help.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So are you having any difficulties during your time here?
It's a lie if I say it's it's everything is fine here, but I think I'm okay for today.
Okay, so can we proceed to the main purpose of our meeting today, Falsafa?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so first thing first, I just want you to know that everything we discuss here today would be jotted down and also would be kept confidential. And don't worry, as I will be talking about this case with other people except Cik Tasha, as she is my partner. Okay, so for your information, as a lawyer, I was bound by the Lawyers Code of Ethics, the Legal Profession Act 1976, as not to give our client information to third parties or other people unless the matter involve physical harm to another person. Also, I won't force you, and you can tell me any information you want, and if you are comfortable enough, you could proceed to share some more information about your problem with me.
Sure. Okay, I'm listening.
I also provided a pen and a paper for you as well to take notes. If anything comes to your mind and you think it is important, I encourage you to write everything down. And I also brought a tissue and a water for you. Okay. So, are you okay so far?
Thank you for the things that you brought, and I think I'm ready.
My pleasure. So I will briefly share with you the procedure and process for today's session. It will be started after I found out everything that happened in your case clearly. The next thing I will cover is what is your expectations that you want from me, and then we would proceed to the last thing, which is I will tell you what kind of options you have to settle up this case. So overall, I guess it would take quite some time. Is it okay for you?
Yes, you can take as much time as you can, as long as my cases have a solution at the end.
Alright then, by the way, there's a form that you need to fill in. This form is all about the terms and conditions from our law firm before we bind to the contract. So here is the form. Can you fill it now?
A few minutes later.
Alright, so far. So let's start with a little bit of summary that I had learned from your case. Is it alright with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So on 4th June 2022, which is Saturday, 2:35 AM, you, the defendant, Nur Safa and Natasha binti Jaafar, had been caught by the police after stabbing your husband, the deceased, which is Muhammad Atik Safar bin Nurli Manis Jazari, by using a kitchen knife. The only witness of the scene is your first daughter, Natasha binti Muhammad Atik Safian. Then you had been charged under section 300 of the Penal Code for murdering your husband, and also you are punishable under section 302 of Penal Code and shall be punished with death. So I believe that you called me here to help you reduce your sentence.
Yes, absolutely.
Also to give you advice on what should you do, right?
Because I'm so desperate that I need your help.
Okay, I understand your situation, so please remain calm, and I will try to give you all the help you could get. So would it be okay?
Yes, Janice, please help me. I really need your help right now.
Okay, so I will ask you a few questions about your journey before and during the incident.
Sure. I could tell everything that I remember that day.
Alright, so you can start sharing anything you feel like you want to share first. Okay, Pansam?
So you already know that I have been charged on murdering my husband, and
It's okay. Take your time, Safa.
I can only recall that I'm taking the medication that night and coming to bed, and suddenly when I come to my sense, I'm holding a kitchen knife with all blood, full of blood, including my sleepwear at that night, and I realized that my husband at that time, I realized that my husband already died because he's not moving at all, and blood was everywhere at that night.
I see. Did you remember what type of medicine and how much did you take it that night?
I think it's antidepressant and antipsychotic. And also I had consumed it a little bit more than I'm supposed to, and this is due to I had faced so much pain that day. That is why I took the medication.
Okay, I will take that into account. May I ask you something, Miss Safa?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if this would be a bit sensitive for you in this condition. Just now, you said that you took the antidepressant and antipsychotic a little too much to release all of your pain. So, may I know what causes the pain you're going through?
Yeah.
It's okay if you feel uneasy to share. But we are not going to force you to reveal anything. But we can emphasize to you that the more you tell us, the more we can help you.
Okay, I will try my best to answer everything. Okay. To be honest, I recently learned that my husband had cheated on me with another woman, and not just a woman. There's also a man that he cheated. So after 10 years marrying him, I just know that he was a bisexual. That is not normal, and that's very frustrating for me. And that is why that day I was very in pain and accidentally took overdose medicine.
So you didn't notice anything suspicious about him and his friends or kids in that long 10 years?
At first, I just thought that he and that colleague, which is man that I found him with, is just a close friend. And I also realized that they going out every day, and my husband came home late every single day. And suddenly, on that day, I also saw that man kissing my husband at the mall. So I think it's very, very frustrating, and I don't know what to do, and I'm so speechless.
Oh dear. I'm so sorry to hear that. I can say that I could feel the pain just by hearing your voice. Were you able to get that evidence of what you said earlier? Maybe some pictures or videos of him and his clique?
Oh, that day I had taken so many pictures of them, and I also had shared with my sister-in-law Alisa. She is the sister of my husband. So, would you mind to be her as the witness also, so that she can show you the evidence?
Yeah, most probably she could be one of our witness, and I will try to get her in the witness list.
Because not only that, she also known a lot. Like in 10 years of our marriage, every single thing that happened, I shared with her. So anything you also can ask her about our condition of the relationship during these past 3 weeks.
Alright, I'll take note of that, and thank you for sharing them with me, Miss Safa. Anyways, did you record anything after you took the medicine that night? And please bear in mind that everything you tell us will keep it safe and confidential, even though there might be sensitive issues involved.
Unfortunately, I think I can't recall anything because I was under the influence of the medicine, and I had tried so hard to find what the actual situation happened that night, but I'm so sorry I can't. And every time I try to record it triggers my trauma, and my seizure will become stronger and violent, and need me to take medicine.
It's okay, Miss Safa. Don't be too hard on yourself. So we will help you figure out everything, and I have a question in mind. And I'm sorry if this question would offend you, but how did you get diagnosed with your mental illness? Schizophrenia, right?
After 10 years of marrying him, he started to complain every single thing in past 2 years, and this was also where he started to get physical on me, and he started to slap, hit me with glasses, with broom, and sometimes she threw me shoes. Every single objects that near him, that in that situation, she will hit me like that. And even though it's just a simple reason, like I asked him, why do you came late to home today? He can be really mad, and we get into argument every single week in past 2 years. So that is why I'm very stressed about, and I started to meet psychiatrists. And 3 months ago, the doctor had diagnosed me with schizophrenia, because I'm started to seeing hallucination, that a thing that anybody can't see, just only we can see it. I think that's why I got schizophrenia.
It sounds like your husband has treated you badly for all this time being. Actually, I have received a record from the Balai Polis Bangsa that you had lodged a report regarding your husband having abused you physically and mentally, right?
Oh yes, I had lodged it in March 2022, which is past 2 years.
I see. You can also use this report as the defense in the case that your husband has abused you. And I want to ask if there's any medical report recorded for this matter.
Yes, I had visited Hospital Kuala Lumpur to get the proof that my husband had physically mistreated me, and this was made before I lodged the report.
I see. That's actually a great step. I'm very proud of you for being brave enough to lodge the police report and also to go to the hospital. So I will then ask the Hospital Kuala Lumpur to share a medical report so that I can gather all the evidence together then. Yeah.
Thank you for the
No problem. So next, does anyone from your family or his family knows about your marriage problem? Maybe the one that always keeps on updating about you and always hears you out.
as I said just now, my sister-in-law, Alisa, she always be there for me, and she is the one that always know about our condition and all, and I tell and share every single thing with her, and also I share it with my best friend Putri.
Okay, so did they know about your disorder?
Yes, but I don't want them to be so worried about it, so I just tell it just briefly.
I see. If you don't mind, could you tell us more about your diagnosis, like when it happens, the triggers, and how does it happen usually?
So since I'm very new to this disorder, so I tend to get uncontrollable. So I will get mood swings easily. I tend to burst out words without thinking. And sometimes there are voices in my head that telling me to do something that I shouldn't, but obviously it's negative things. And usually the voices in my head that keeps me awake in the night at night. So but not only that,
It's okay. You can take your time, and you can drink this mineral water first.
after I found out my husband cheating on me and started to get abusive, I believe that was where it also triggered my seizure. So the voices started to become violent, and I started to see things that I shouldn't, and yeah.
I really don't know what to say, and it must have been very traumatizing, and I'm so sorry to hear that. But may I know how you survived all these days before the incident happened?
Because of those voices and things I started to see, I was depending on my pills just to make me feel better and to make the voices go away. But as my doctor said, the pills only 30% of it. So when the effectiveness of the pills is go away, the voices still come back, and I cannot get a good night's sleep. So to keep me get a normal day life, I need to consume the pills again and again and again. And I just want to be normal again, but my husband always gaslights me into thinking that I'm the main problem in our marriage.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry, and it must have been hard for you. Is there anything else about your problem that you might want to talk to me, or you want to share with me? Anything?
Actually, yeah, there is. So on that day, I actually took the pills on purposely, because I purposely overdosed myself.
Oh, may I know the reason why you did it purposely?
This was the same day where I finally had the courage to confront my husband about his affairs, but he keeps on denying about his actions, even though I had clearly seen with my both of eyes that he cheated on me. I'm so frustrated, which then resulted us into the huge argument that night, and it becoming much more worse than before. All that I wanted as an honest answer, instead, he said something that very triggered me that night.
You mind telling me a bit what he said that night?
He said that it would be better if I were gone and not come to his side anymore. So basically, he wanted me to die.
Okay. Could you describe how you felt at that moment when he said it?
I feel so scared and anxious. As a normal people, we'll do the same, right? We'll feel the same. I didn't want to die, and I was so scared that he meant the words he said. Because if he could hit me and abuse me in the time being before this, there's the high possibilities of him doing it are high at that night, right?
Yeah, so because of that argument, you decided to overdose yourself, or was there any specific reason, like any other reason for doing so?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel so paranoid, and that my husband could kill me when I sleep that night. So I take all those pills, and without I realized that I had overdosed. So I did manage to stay awake, but the voices in my head keep on telling me to kill him, because if I'm not start the steps first before him, he will kill me. And that's why. But in 5 to 10 minutes after that, I can't remember anything until the scene of I'm holding the knife.
Oh, okay. Thank you for opening up to me, Miss Safra. Let me remind you once again, every information shared will be kept confidential by me. So, do you have any other information to share?
I think for now that is all that I could remember. So
Okay then. So, what I'm gonna do is that I will report back to you how I understand your situation, and do not hesitate to stop me if I'm wrong.
alright, chance.
So what have I wrote on my note is, okay, as I said earlier, you have been charged for murdering your husband under Section 300 of the Penal Code and are punishable under Section 302 of the Penal Code. However, at that time, you were under the influence of an antidepressant, and you also had been diagnosed 5 months ago by the psychiatrist that you are suffering a mental illness called schizophrenia. So we can assume that you were suffering from unsoundness of mind at that time of the commission of your act. According to your story, is that the main cause of your condition now is your husband's mistreatment of you physically and mentally throughout the previous year. So did I get the facts right?
Right, yes, Janice. I can say that all the facts that you say were accurate. So for now, what we can do, Janice? I'm so scared right now that I will be maintained for the death penalty.
Don't worry, Miss Safa. As for now, I can assure you that you won't be punished with death, as you have quite a strong evidence regarding your mental health. So right now, your case would be brought to the High Court. So there's a few solutions that I could suggest. It's either filing an appeal, or you can also plead guilty and appeal to the court to lighten the sentence.
Oh, I see. So, can you brief me more about regarding the filing of the appeal?
Sure thing, points. Okay, so regarding the appeal, I guess the best solution that we can suggest is to let us help you in preparing the course paper. Once everything is clear, we will file to the court and we will serve you then as the defendant.
I see. It's great to hear that. So, but the second option seems pretty okay. Would you mind to brief me more about that?
Alright. So, just now I mentioned that the second suggestion is you plead guilty, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so actually, you can plead guilty, but I will absolutely help you to get your sentence reduced.
Oh, but how is it possible, Chinese? Wouldn't I be sentenced to death straight away if I plead guilty?
Oh, no worries, Puan Safa. As I said earlier, I will give you all the help you can get. Also, we already get the facts straight earlier. You were abused by your husband, right?
Yes.
And you did have the medical evidence as well as the police report. So by submitting those evidence, we can already lighten your sentence, as we can say that you were defending yourself.
I see. But what if the evidence is not strong enough to keep me from being sentenced to death?
Not to worry. We also have the medical diagnosis of your mental illness. We can submit them later to the court. Also, I believe that your husband was the cause of you having schizophrenia based on the stories that you told me just now. And the reason why you were taking a little too much meds that night was in order to protect yourself from your husband. So it won't be considered as voluntary intoxication. And I believe that you were considered involuntarily intoxicated, and the action that you did is out of your control. So from all of this evidence, and if the court grant your lighter sentences, there is high possibilities, and the least you can get based on your offence is that your action would be clarified as culpable homicide that falls under Section 299 of the Penal Code, and then it would be punishable under Section 304 Clause B of the Penal Code, which states that you can be jailed for up to 10 years with fine, or with both, due to the no attention to cause death.
Oh, I see. Thank you for explaining everything to me, Janice. I very much appreciate it, and I will think about it through.
No problem at all, Puan Safa. Every decision that will be made is all depending on you, as I am here just to help you in getting everything you ask for. So, I will give you some time to think about it wisely, and if there's any more questions, feel free to ask me, but
Sure thing.
Hello, Chinese. I'm really sorry, but I'm still in London and quite busy with the opening of our new office here.
hello. So, okay, I understand you. What's the update?
All done except for the furniture will arrive on Thursday, and so yeah, after that I will be back and complete all the tasks in Malaysia then.
Oh, I see. I called you today actually just to discuss about the murder case that day. I also sent you all the case summary and details that I had got during my meeting session with Puan Safa. So what do you think about this case?
From all the summary from the email, I think what you have sent to me, I agree that this case can have a high possibility of failing under Section 299 of Penal Code, which is culpable homicide, as she purposely overdosed herself by taking too much antidepressant and antipsychotic. And plus, that's not under her control. I think, can you share me the medical report of her disease from her doctor?
Yeah, sure. Wait a minute. So
Okay, as
the
we
report.
can see here, um, the date is on 18th January 2022, which is 6 months ago. So it's new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can declare that she had very severe what we call it again? Schizophrenia. Yeah, schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. Um, mhm. Actually, the first thing I was thinking about when I heard about her case, but the past few cases in Malaysia, most of the cases that have the same facts as this case, I saw that the appeal were dismissed by the judges. So, from your point of view, how many percentages can we successfully win for this case?
For me, I would give 50 to 60% because, as you said, it is not a simple case that we can just tell the court that defendant has suffered from schizophrenia. We also need a professional psychiatrist or specialist that can declare all of this matter to the court. I think as stated in section 85, subsection 2, paragraph A of the Penal Code, in order to avail oneself to the defendant of intoxication, the defendant must prove that the state of intoxication was caused without the defendant consent, which is by the malicious act or negligence, and does not know his or her act or omission was wrong at the time. So basically, in the simple words, we can prove that the elements of mens rea did not exist at that time. And in addition, we also can relate her condition to section 85, subsection 2, paragraph B also of the act, because by reason of intoxication, she was rendered insane at that time. So she may be granted a special acquittal by reason of unsoundness of mind.
Yeah, but not to forget about the private defense. So here is the police report lodged by the defendant, as you can see here.
Let's see. So she did lodge a report about the abusive husband.
Yeah. Due to her husband being abusive to her at that time, we can use this defense to strengthen our defenses. And under section 96 of the Penal Code, one is allowed to exercise self-defense under two scenarios, one of which is when one's personal safety or the safety of another person is affected. So in this case, at the time of the omission, she was paranoid by her husband, and due to saving her life, she overdosed herself to stay awake so that her husband couldn't kill her when she was asleep.
I see. That's great, actually. We can make it as a great evidence. So that's totally correct, Janice. So have you found any other past cases that have the same material of facts? At least a case that related to involuntarily intoxicated?
Oh, I apparently did some early research about this case. So in the case of Sinasami against public prosecutor, Sinasami claimed that that he murdered his daughter by accident while he was having an epileptic episode. The doctors in this case unanimously agreed that a person is not conscious during an epileptic attack and thus would satisfy section 84 of the penal code requirements. And the other one for the private defense is the case of Chung Tai Kong alias Chung Fu Chung against public prosecutor, where the accused claimed to have feared for his life when the disease stabbed him on his neck. The accused therefore pleaded self-defense.
Oh, I see. However, I think the court also depends on the magnetum rule. It was a standard to be applied by the judge after hearing medical testimony from prosecution and defense experts to declare whether the defendant was unable to recognize the wrongfulness of the act that was carried out at that time. So for now, I think that's all that we can conclude. Are there any other things to add on, Cik Anis?
No. So we can start preparing the course paper. And once it's done, I believe that we can file it to the court.
Yeah, sure, Cik Anis. I will see you in KL then.
All right. Thank you, Cik Tasha. Bye.
Bye.